Welcome to today's Piece of Peace. I sense that there's, at times I've spoken in the past about how when the Lord wants to grab our attention about something, that He would bring it to me in series of 3 different ways of hearing it, or repetitively bring it to me one day after the next, or I would hear it in a sermon and then read about it in a book or have a friend talk about it. It was just like it would be coming at me in series of 3 confirmations, affirmations, however you want to put it. Today I feel there's another word that I sense that He is bringing to my attention yet again. And this will piggyback what I talked about yesterday. But I believe that we are in an incredible spiritual battle at the time. And He is drawing my attention to how our thought patterns change our beliefs and change our behaviors. And He's moving that to a point where are you allowing yourself to think? What are you allowing yourself to speak out loud? Because our spoken word has so much power. Because if we're made in His image, and He spoke the world and the universe into existence, our thoughts and our out loud spoken words have a lot of power because we're made in the image of God. So in that, I wanted to set that down because He spoke about it yesterday and He's speaking about it again today. And it'll be very interesting to see what He brings about for tomorrow. But we're going to be starting in James today. And James chapter 1, verse 2. He says, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith develops perseverance. Perseverance must finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. If any of you lacks wisdom, he should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to him." I'm going to move then on to verse 12. And we're going to go through 21, but I'm going to really hone in on 19 through 21, because that's sort of what stood out when I was reading this morning. "Blessed is the man who perseveres under trial, because when he has stood the test, he will receive the crown of life that God has promised to those who love him. And when it says, when tempted, no one should say, 'God is tempting me.' For God cannot be tempted by evil, nor does he tempt anyone. But each one is tempted by his own evil desire. He is dragged away and enticed. Then after desire has conceived, it gives birth to sin, and sin, when it's full grown, gives birth to death. Don't be deceived, my dear brothers. Every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of heavenly lights, who does not change like shifting sand or shifting shadows. He chooses to give us birth through the word of truth, that we might be a kind of first fruits of all he created." And here's what I want you to focus on. "My dear brothers, take note of this." And I'll say that again. My dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. "Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. For man's anger does not bring about the righteous life that God desires. Therefore, I'm going to say that again. For man's anger does not bring about the righteous life that God desires. In our world right now, there is so much anger being slaughtered around. It's anger in people's thoughts. It's anger in people's spoken word. It's anger in what they're posting. It's anger. There's just turmoil and there's division. There's just so much division. Be slow. Be quick to listen. Be slow to speak. Be slow to become angry. For man's anger does not bring about the righteous life that God desires. Therefore, get rid of all moral filth and the evil that is so prevalent, and humbly accept the word planted in you, which can save you. When we draw our attention back to our King, are we asking our King, what words do you want me to speak out loud? Because our spoken words create. What do you want my mind to think about? I'm going to take this thought. God, is this thought from you? No. Give it back to God. What do you want me to be thinking about instead? Because in our belief, in our thoughts become our belief, and in our belief become our actions, our behaviors. We behave in what we believe. And if our thoughts are not taken captive and brought into the obedience of Christ, what are we thinking about and how are we behaving out of it? How is not being quick to listen and slow to speak and slow to become angry? How is that affecting us if we are not doing that? If we are not listening, and we're quickly becoming verbal and we're quickly becoming angry, how is that moving in who we were created to be? How is that moving in God's presence? Jesus did nothing without asking the Father. He moved and said and spoke and did only what God intended. But how much of it are we following out of our own doing and not God's? Listen to your own narrative. Listen to your thoughts. Look at your behaviors. Bring everything to Him before it's spoken, before it's written. Don't be part of the dividing war that's going on. I want to bring you into Jesus Calling. Sarah Young's book. You can download her app. You can order this online. Remember that you live in a fallen world, an abnormal world tainted by sin. Much frustration and failure result from your seeking perfection in this life. There is nothing perfect in this world except me. This is written from the perspective of God speaking to us. Much frustration and failure result from your seeking perfection in this life. There is nothing perfect in this world except me. That is why closeness to me satisfies deep yearnings and fills you with joy. That is why closeness with God satisfies deep yearnings and fills you with joy. I have planted longings for perfection in every human heart. This is a good desire, which I alone can fulfill. But most people seek this fulfillment in other people and earthly pleasures or achievements, or trying to get it from other people. Thus, they create idols before which they bow down. I will have no other gods before me. Make me the deepest desire of your heart. Let me fulfill your yearning for perfection. Draw near to Him, and He will draw near to you. He is the only one that is perfect. He's the only one that can fulfill your deepest longings. Nothing on this earth will do that. Not changed behavior in people, not thinking what you need and you get it, because that will fall short and you'll need again. We have an empty pit that needs to keep getting filled. And we couldn't jump through enough hoops to bring that peace. He's the only one that can give it to us. I'm going to repeat that end again. Make me the deepest desire of your heart, our focus. Let me fulfill your yearning for perfection, which only He can. That's today's piece of peace. God bless you guys.